In exercise 2.2, we're going to go through two problems together, and then I'm going to ask you to solve two problems on your own. Let's get started. We're going to start by creating a vector. So a vector is going to store more than one value in the particular data structure. And in this case, we're going to create a vector called test scores. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste test scores, and that's the name of our vector. And then I'm going to assign it a set of values. The set of values are listed here. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight those values, and then I'm going to put those in parentheses. And what I'm going to do is use this C function, which is the combine function. And then we're going to be able to combine these values into a vector named test scores. I'll press enter, and then once we can actually look at what's in our vector by simply typing out the vector name, and you'll see all of our values are there. Let's build on this example. Next, we're going to create a vector called students. And we want to have that vector contain the following values that are listed here, which are obviously first names of students. So we'll start by creating the variable, which is called students, and we're going to use the combine function, and we want to pass in the following values. Think about what happens if I press enter right here. Well, if I press enter, we'll get an error. And the error is, oh, Jerry hasn't been found. But actually, what the problem is that we're using character data types here, but they don't have double quotes around them. Anytime we use words or numbers that we want to have treated as words, we need to make sure we put double quotes around them. So why don't we go ahead and re-execute this statement, but make some minor changes. So we're going to put double quotes around all of the student first names. Do our last one here, Tony, and press enter. You notice that that's not returning an error. If we type in students, we see the values returned, which is precisely what we want to have returned. Now we're going to build on this example with item C. So here we're going to create a data frame called grades comprised of the two vectors, test scores and students. So how would we do that? Well, we're going to use a function called data.frame. Data.frame. And all we're going to do is we're going to pass in the particular vectors that we want to combine into a data frame. And so you can guess what those are. Those are going to be test scores and students, right? So I can just type in test underscore scores, comma, students. And so that's what we want to pass into the data frame function. However, we need to assign the output of that data frame function to some variable, which is going to be of type data frame. So why don't we call this grades? We can go ahead and press enter. And if we actually type out the word grades, we should be able to see that data frame, right? So now this mirrors or mimics what you would see in an Excel spreadsheet with columns and rows. Okay, let's move on to the second problem. It turns out that Monica's test was regraded, so she should be awarded 5 extra points. Let's make the correction in the data frame. So how would we approach this? Well, we have to look at the position in the data frame in which Monica exists. So she's observation number 2. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to actually modify that particular element in our grades data frame. So to do this, first I'm going to clear my console so there's a little bit more room for you to see. And we're going to define what particular row that we want to update. So we do this by referencing the data frame and then the particular column and row. So test scores is the column, right? Because we want to change the test score. And we know that it's the second element. So we type in 2, and that's what we want to update. Now, how are we going to update it? We're going to simply use reference the particular element, which is number 2, and we're going to add +5 to it. Just use basic addition. And at this point, I can go ahead and look at grades, and you'll see that Monica's grade has been updated from a 75 to an 80. Now it's your turn to work on the following two problems. So in problem 3, I'm going to ask you to extract the student who got above or equal a 90%. So we can already see who did, but I want you to do it programmatically. The next challenge is problem 4. I want you to sort all the students by their test scores in descending order. So try that out.